Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my weekly review for this week's episode of Better Call Saul Season 3. This is for episode 3. It's called Sunk Costs. And spoiler warning if you guys have not seen this episode yet for Better Call Saul. So this week's episode, we continue, of course, with the two kind of storylines happening at once. We have mainly the Mike story, and then we have the Jimmy or Saul story, as they're both kind of going concurrently. So the Mike side, let's start with that. So in this one, pretty cool scene. We get to see finally Mike and Gus Fring meet face to face. Gus in his black suit being pretty badass and that whole thing, and pretty much lets Mike go, but encourages him, let's say, to continue to disrupt Hector Salamanca's business, but also insists that he cannot kill Hector, which is pretty cool. And again, just really brought back some thoughts of to hear Giancarlo Esposito mention Hector like that. It really brings back some memories from Breaking Bad near the end of season 4 there, where the final confrontation goes down between Hector and Gus. And also, of course, the visit when they go to Mexico and they kind of poison all of the drug cartel or drug lords down there. So some really cool kind of nostalgic things for me as an old school Breaking Bad fan. Also, we get to see some pretty cool stuff where Mike is scaring the guys that are Hector's drivers that are going through, and then he ends up shooting the shoes to mark the truck. So then the dog finds it, and then it gets red flagged, and they get the drivers get arrested. Pretty funny when he's trying to throw the shoes over the thing because he has to keep trying. He does like 3 swings and he lets it go, or he does like 2 swings and the third one lets it go, and he just keeps missing until he finally gets it. And it's just kind of funny because Mike is he's older now, and, it's just funny to see him try to put it out there. So I like that. That was all pretty good. For the meeting between Mike and Gus, it was pretty cool. I was expecting to see a little bit more, but then on second thought, it's like, well, this is the first time they meet, and this universe usually takes itself pretty seriously for the most part. So the way the story goes, it's just I don't know what I was expecting, fireworks or something to see when they, first meet each other. But it was still cool to see the first kind of meeting between them talking on the phone and then actually getting to see each other in person. So I like the Mike stuff this week. I thought it was pretty good. Mike and Gus, I should say, at this point. And it'll be cool to see how that continues, and if Gus calls on Mike or something, because that was pretty slick what he pulled off there. As we know, Mike is really smart. So once Gus finds out what happened and kind of knows, he might be impressed by what Mike can do, because that's pretty impressive, because from Hector's perspective, he's not even going to think that he was robbed or something went down like that at all. He's just going to think that probably some of his guys, got caught, in other words. So, sunk cost for sure. So that was really slick from Mike, as we come to expect over all the seasons of Breaking Bad and now Better Call Saul. So that was good. The stuff with Jimmy and Chuck and Kim. So, with this one, thought it was fine to see him get arrested. That was cool. Some decent montages in here. One of Kim getting dressed, getting ready, going to the gym, that kind of thing. Another one of Jimmy being arrested, which was kind of cool to see, and to see him kind of appear in court in the orange is the new black type of deal. So that was pretty cool. Some mixed emotions with that one and what Chuck's doing. I really hate Chuck because it makes me think of like when Jimmy had the option to commit him, and Jimmy decided not to commit Chuck, and gave him this chance. And even though Jimmy did cross him and did kind of screw up the Mesa Verde thing with him, even still, Jimmy didn't commit him, and he could have, and he let him out. And now Chuck is not returning the favor, so to speak, I want to say. And everything with Chuck seems to be a game. He's got everything set up, and Ernesto's been fired and all this kind of stuff. It really just makes me look at Chuck as like just this morally high ground type of I don't know if we can even really call him a villain. I guess Jimmy's like our protagonist of the series, even though he's slanted, but at the same time Chuck is a good person, but in this, I don't know. I think you guys feel where I'm going with this one here when he tries to say it's for his own good, this kind of stuff. Because the thing is Jimmy's trying to get his business running. He's got the elderly clients coming and everything. He's got Kim. He's got all this stuff happening. And I know what he did was wrong, but at the same time, we're really going to disrupt his life like that when he's got clients. He's got all this stuff happening. He's trying to build his business and everything. It's that's pretty rough. And also because Jimmy didn't commit him when he could have, and now might be regretting that decision not to. But I did like the scene where he told him that they were done after this, and that Chuck's going to die alone, that kind of thing. So and Jimmy won't be there for him when that happens. So the setup for going forward and what's going to happen next is that he can take the deal. He can write a confession and everything, but then he'll pretty much be guaranteed he's going to lose his law license, which is really what Chuck wants, is to take away his his legal license. But I think I again, this is pretty conflicting with what Chuck's doing here as an officer of the court, that whole kind of thing. Again, it's like, oh man, it's just it's pretty conflicting. But I generally kind of. It's kind of I view it as a dominant show. You got the quote where he says, the other lawyer says, find the biggest one and punch him, that kind of thing. And it's just like, it's so silly. Show dominance, that kind of thing. It's so silly to hear him say that. But it's kind of like Chuck wants to show dominance here, or he is showing dominance here, or act like he's the better brother, the better one, even though their mother cared about Jimmy or paid more attention to Jimmy and liked Jimmy more. It seems Chuck still harbors resentment for that, and Chuck still wants to prove that he's the better one of the two, and that he's the real lawyer, and you're not a real lawyer, that kind of thing. Now he's gonna give him that choice to give that up, and then have to find out what he would do with his career after that, or go through it with Kim, see what happens, and it sounds like that's what they're going to do, and just see how everything goes down with that. So pretty good developments. Decent third episode for the season. I'm going to give it an 8.2 out of 10. Thought it was pretty solid. A bit dry at parts, but pretty solid for the most part. So you guys can write your comments below. Let me know what you think about this episode of Better Call Saul. And I'm going to do a video this week, Better Call Saul versus Breaking Bad. Now that we're into season 3, and it could potentially go as long as Breaking Bad, and give my thoughts on it, because so much of Gus returning just makes me think about Breaking Bad again and how epic that was. So rate your comments below, guys. Let me know what you think, and if you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can also share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for today's Better Call Saul / Breaking Bad video, so to speak. I'll see you guys again for another one, probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.